Hey, hey. Hi, Cancerians. All right, we're going to take a little peek at what is hidden from Cancer right now. And by the way, we are, oh God, seriously, we are celebrating Happy Tuesday. So I try to do Cancer videos on Tuesdays and Saturdays for you guys. So I know it's late, but it is still Tuesday where I'm at. So, um, God, we literally had this triplicate of cards come out for someone on the other channel. Um, Maybe Capricorn. We have the ninth house, we have the eighth house, and we have the sixth house. So the energies of journeys, spiritualism, academia, the energies of work, life related issues, and the energies of emotions that are all kind of like sandwiched in with this trio of cards. So any of those areas could have some surprises or something hidden from Cancer. Cancer might want to check out, I believe it was Capricorn. Hi, Lena. So good to see you, babe. Um, we've got the 10 of Pentacles sideways. So that could be our work related topic. We have the Fool. There's an adventure or life journey message. And we have King of Wands. There could be where our emotions come from. Okay, so let's say there's three different areas of some surprises in store. The things that Cancer doesn't see, the things that are hidden, at least at the moment, from Cancer, could be a lateral move somewhere in matters of like where a character lives or what they do for money, or a change in, here she is like doing yoga. Maybe somebody's about to start making good money at their side hustle. And it's like, I'm making as much as I did when I, worked for somebody else. It could be a character gets to start doing what they love for, the resources that allow them to live the life that they love. But this looks more like what's hidden is that there's a lateral move, not anything that disrupts or shakes up or, is like a downfall, nor is it something that's like this huge, explosion of extra. Instead, we are not already at a 10 of coins. It doesn't get much better than that. So what's hidden is that everything's going to be all right, is what it says for this character. So our Cancerian might just be in a place where it's like, even if there are some changes, some shifts, it's like as one thing leaves, something else comes in. As one client exits, a new client comes back. It could just be like a nice little shift of energy. And it's like, actually, things are still really good. So that's a lovely message. Now, when it comes to matters of like the journey, the ninth house energy, we could very well have a character that is like, I am so freaking ready for a new adventure. Now, I'm thinking that this could be a Cancerian that doesn't see it yet, but something like either a sense of being revitalized is going to come into their life. Something about their world is, really going to, I'll just say, blossom. And, this is Aries energy, but we've got somebody who's ready to like leap into the rainbow here. Kind of like I'm finding the pot of gold, and the pot of gold is the adventure. I keep picturing somebody who all of a sudden looks younger, feels younger, and it could just be like, oh my God, I fell in love with my life again. I fell in love with the age that I'm at. I will tell you, I'm 45, and I physically feel better at 45 than I did at 38. 38, I had some injuries. I was really hurting. There was a bunch of stuff going on, body wise and injury wise. And at 45, so many of those things I really worked to heal. And I feel physically fantastic. I feel more like what I did in my 20s, with one exception of a knee injury that I'm still fixing. But, it's amazing how it's not about age. It's about, where we're at, or maybe it's about how much we decide, okay, I need to take care of certain things in myself or in my life to make me feel rejuvenated again. Or sometimes we're, in a bad situation, a bad relationship or something, and that drains us. And then when we free ourselves from that, we feel like we get a do-over, and we feel like the whole world is our oyster again. So I think if Cancer hasn't felt like that in a while, it says what's hidden is Cancer could have a new opportunity to be like, oh my God, the world is at my fingertips. Either maybe it's, what came to my mind was just like feeling physically well again could be something that comes back for Cancer. Or like I said, maybe it's something more along the lines of, feeling emotionally like, my God, I got me back. I feel good again about myself. I feel happy again. But it definitely feels like a second youth, or not even a second. I mean, this could be a fifth or sixth youth, but it's a cyclical thing where it's like I get to start over again and I feel like the world is fresh and new again. So very positive energy. And now we get to the gift of the universe. The universe seems like it's going to be projecting possibly some bearded hottie into Cancerian's world. Now this person could come in as, let's say this is nothing to do with romance. Let's say this is a long lost best friend, estranged sibling that all of a sudden, I can't believe it. I never thought we'd patch stuff up, but now we're next door neighbors and we're getting along great. This is somebody who actually, they do have a lot of love for me. Not all love has to be romantic, right? It could be platonic, it could be familial, it could be friendship related, but I have to say I lean much more toward a romantic bend on this, mostly because the pyramid is there. And it's like the mysterious, like I almost feel like Cancer may end up falling for someone that they never would have dreamed would be their type. Maybe Cancer's like, oh no, I don't like beards. And then they're like, that bearded man is the hottest thing I've ever seen, or maybe it's like, oh, I don't really go for whatever, a man in a business suit or something. Supply whatever we wish as far as gender goes. But right now we have a king, so we're going to say him. It feels like either Cancer is going to be in an unusual set of circumstances, or this king will be, where it's like the only reason we met is because you missed 2 flights. You were supposed to be in Egypt, you're supposed to be in Cairo, and instead you ended up through some weird mishap of planes being grounded. You ended up in my small town, someplace in the Midwest, and that's how I met you. It could be something like that. It could be something highly unusual that is unexpected. But the universe has a big old hand in this. So whatever is hidden from Cancer seems to be some very nice surprises. Stability as far as like life and resources go, second chances as far as like excitement, and then I'm sorry, but we're going to look at this King of Wands because I'm digging this. Hi, everybody. Great to see you. Stephanie, Dragon Fortnite, Violet, SLH. Hi, guys. Lots of love. You guys are so awesome. You guys are so cute. The Emperor, I've got to put out a couple little video clips also in the members corner about Aries. I haven't shared any clips with you guys in I think this is our second week, just because I was busy moving and stuff. So that kind of fell by the wayside. Trust me, he's cute every day though. We have the Emperor. So this might not just be a King of Wands. This could be somebody, okay, if this is an unexpected emotional bond that could pop up into Cancerian's life, it may be someone that Cancerian knew a very long time ago. And even when Cancer looks at them, even if they're older now, Cancer may still see them as like, oh, I knew you when we were young. And here you are again, and you're even better. You're even, more like gracious or more empowered than you were before. This really feels like a serendipitous meeting with somebody that either Cancer always had a good opinion of. This doesn't mean it was an ex that they dated. This could be old friend. This could be old work colleague. And they're meeting under different circumstances. Guess what? There's a Fool here. There's an Ace of Wands here. And the Nine of Swords sideways. We do have an unexpected love. Sorry, something is biting me. We have an unexpected for both people. I almost am picturing like Cancer and another person will kind of do that thing where you stop, even if you just see somebody on the sidewalk and your brain almost can't take it in because it's like, am I really seeing that person I haven't seen in years? That happened to me one time. I lived in a big city, then I moved, had been gone from that big city for quite some time, then I'd gone to Las Vegas with a connecting flight and was actually headed to Europe. And at the airport, getting on my flight, which had like a connection somewhere on the East Coast, I think it was like St. Paul, I glance over and there's somebody that I knew from that first city I had lived in. And it was just so surreal. And we both kind of stared like, I know you, but you're not supposed to be here. You live in my past in a different city. What the heck are you doing here? And it was just so funny. And it's always such a delight and such an unexpected, but your brain takes a minute for it to process, and then you're busting up laughing. It feels like that kind of a moment, especially with this huge smile and this huge laugh. Now, in my case, it was not anything romantic. It was just a delight to bump into somebody. But when you do that freeze frame and your brain almost can't process what you're seeing, that's what comes to mind with this. So I think Cancerian is going to very unexpectedly bump into somebody. And admittedly, they could look older, still got a nice beard. They could look older and even like more chiseled, more, Asian like a silver fox, like fine wine. Definitely seems like somebody's got a beard in Cancerian's future. But it's so crazy because they may have held a bit of a torch for Cancer. They too might be in a similar place where it's like, well, you see, I've kind of started my life over. We got two people both in the Fool's energy. That's really nice. And by the way, they do come across as very strong Aries. So Cancer may have, Aries in their future. It's certainly, I wasn't looking at this necessarily as like a future story, but more just like what is hidden. What I love about it is that we have surprises in store for this Cancerian. Positive, wonderful, it's one of those messages that says you never know who you're going to encounter or when you're going to encounter them. Could this be a love story? It certainly could. There's definitely desire to talk to this person. There's delight, there's passion, it seems like bumping into somebody who maybe for Cancerian it was just an old friend, but for them it could be a hope at least of a romance because they've got that rose. They may finally be able to say, I had such a crush on you back when we worked together 15 years ago. I had such a crush on you back in high school. Like, whatever this is, it feels like some time has passed. His hair has changed colors, right? I don't know. This feels like both of them are just a little bit nervous, but anything that's unexpected can certainly give us the emotional roller coaster of joy, delight, blurting things out, having the unexpected catch up with somebody, and then simultaneously being like nervous, like, okay, especially if you bump into somebody on the sidewalk or something, and it's like, I want to keep talking to you. I want to, reconnect with you. Let's get out of the way of all the other foot traffic of people walking by us. Do you have time to get a cup of coffee? Oh no. Okay, then let's catch up. Oh, are you in town? Are you living here? There's a lot to try to figure out in a very short span of time when it's so unexpected. But one other zodiac got something like that too, where it's just an unexpected person to have pop in. It's very exciting. Let me go back over here one more time to the first deck. We have got time to catch up for sure. Page of Swords, Moon, Three of Pentacles, or I'm sorry, Three of Cups. Again, we see surprises in store for Cancerian. This could be the start of like a whole friend group, a whole relationship, a whole new family scenario. It just looks like Cancerian's life is going to expand with more people after bumping into this individual. I'm not saying Cancer was ever looking for like additional family members or additional people to add into their lives, but it just looks like Cancer's world is about to expand in a very joyful way. Maybe just what they needed, even though not what they thought would be coming into their life. That would fit nicely with the fact that we had 3 houses being impacted with like unexpected or hidden gems, hidden gifts coming in. I wasn't really looking for just gifts. I was looking for whatever was hidden for this particular storytelling. But I really like the fact that it reminds us that you never know who you're going to bump into around the corner, and you never know, our lives are unwritten, and some things are given to chance, and then other things are a direct result of what we, pursue and what we chase down in life. But this kind of says that I argue that this is divine intervention here because of the pyramids and the cosmos. This is probably a direct result of Cancerian's own intentions that have, actions have consequences. And in this case, it gives Cancer like a whole new fresh perspective on life because they made some good choices in their life. And then this is probably a result of, a combination of what they've worked on in life, what they've developed, and, kind of like even the reciprocity and good karma that comes our way. That's the way I would look at this story. So, kind of nice. These have been more interesting stories, to be honest. But I also love the fact that Cancerian is kind of oblivious. I'm not saying Cancer was living without mindfulness and they were just like, well, I just do this and that, and then who knows what it'll yield in my life. But things left to chance in life, those things we can't really predict. But oftentimes, even chance could be tracked back to a certain amount of cause and effect. If Cancerian bumps into somebody who's got a great opinion of them, it's probably because Cancer was nice to them once upon a time. If somebody was attracted to Cancer once upon a time and still are today, it's because they know something about what makes Cancer so sweet and so beautiful to them. So again, it's not really chance that they would be so delighted to see Cancer again and possibly induct Cancer into their world this time when they have a second chance to do so. That's probably a direct result of Cancer's own behaviors in the past. But it definitely kickstarts a whole layer of Cancer's life that they wouldn't have guessed, couldn't have predicted. But we see togetherness, we see romance, we see the wolf and the dog together. I get this vibe that this person could travel or have traveled the world. Maybe they moved abroad for a period of time. Maybe they've recently come back to wherever Cancer is at. They could own a business in another country, in another state. They could be somebody who travels, and I suggest that because we have the wolf and the dog. This could be Cancer, but it looks like it's them. And maybe Cancer's like, I never dreamed I would potentially be living in a vineyard half of the year in whatever, Burgundy, France or something. But it's because this old high school boyfriend, flame, whatever, I met him again now that we're in our 50s, 60s, and that's what they've done with their life, and now I travel back there with them, and it's part of my life. This kind of hints that you see the spiral of the galaxy, and you see Cancer's in a great place to be adventurous. I would say this is a perfect like full circle or full spiral where it's almost like maybe this was always going to happen somehow, some way. These chips were going to fall this way for Cancerian simply because of who Cancer was a very long time ago. Sometimes we start a relationship. Actually, I surprisingly ended up reconnecting with somebody that I knew 22 years ago. Again, non-romantic, just somebody that I knew like 22 years ago. And then I ended up doing business with them, and it took me 2 years to remember, wait a minute, that was you. And it was so cute because they hadn't remembered me either. And then when we started talking, it was like, oh my God, and we've been dealing with each other for 2 years and forgot we knew each other from 22 years ago. And it was so fun. And it just like a delightful, like business, exchange and stuff. And it was just so nice. But it's hilarious how sometimes life swirls you around and weaves you back again into other people's lives. And I just feel like, yes, but this story is actually about romance. So kind of cool though how maybe Cancerian's life is going to take some exciting twists and turns that they couldn't necessarily predict, but it all comes full circle anyway. Very nice. You guys, so good to see everybody. Sunflowers, Moon Power, Pauline Bennett. Hi, honey. Squishfish, you're so sweet. You guys are such angels. I so enjoy hanging out with you guys. Oh my God, Stephanie Ellis, you ran into grade 10 boyfriend this summer because of an unexpected reason. Your flight was changed and you weren't supposed to be there, and he recognized you. That's so awesome. Isn't that such a gift and such a delight? And we forget the world moves in small circles. It really does. It's such a shock when we bump into people and it just wasn't on our radar. We never thought that would happen again. That's so sweet. I think that song Unforgettable, that's what you are. That's what comes to mind right now. GR, so nice to see you, babe. Every time I see GR, and because your little icon is blue, instantly I think of Greece, and that makes me smile so much. If I still believe. Dragon Fortnite, is so good to see you, babe. You are such a sweetie. Thank you for giving it a thumbs up. Bruce like Violet. So good to see you again tonight, babe. Dragon Fortnite, you like the little pictures of Aries through the seasons. I would add more, but um, honestly, I feel like this feels more like home to me. I've moved to than guys any place I've been in a while. I'm really Aries loves it, but he's still the backyard has a big patio, and for whatever reason, although he likes to be on the patio, he doesn't believe he should pop yard, so he won't. He will tinkle, and that is it. Otherwise, we still have to go on walkies, no matter how late it is, if he has to do more than tinkle. And I think it's hilarious because I'm like, this is a backyard. And he's like, this is repulsive. You do not go in your own backyard. And I'm like, I have the most fastidious dog. So anyway, sorry if that was TMI, but Aries adores the house. He adores all kinds of things about it, but just not. No, you can't go potty in Aries' own backyard. So I guess that's how that goes. Lena 4A, so sweet. Thank you, 5. Thank you. It's so nice of you. Dragon Fortnite, I agree with you. I absolutely adore animals. Even more, I think, the older I get. I was raised with animals, but it's like I don't know, there's just something about the age that I'm at or something that oh man, I just adore them. Nelly, hi baby. Good to see you. How are you, sweetheart? GOSC10P. Hey. Oh my God, Stephanie, was it really 30 years later? That is so cool. That is so cool. Yeah, the universe is a tiny place, and the world, as big as it is, it's not that big. Is That's why it's so much better for us to, you know, like enjoy our contacts in this world and ideally make lots and lots more contacts, lots and lots more friends. I have to say, the older I've gotten, the more focused I am on like building community where I'm at. Also, like, patronizing the local businesses, keeping the local coffee shops open, really getting to know the like local business owners and stuff like that, just because it really makes you fall in love with, the town that you're in. And I just, especially now that I've moved and I really feel comfortable here. I feel like I really want to invest kind of in the community that I'm in. It's nice. It's nice to have like roots, and it's nice to build relationships. So, you guys, thank you for being a part of my world and being here in this community. I know it's not like we see each other face to face, but you guys are very much. I think after all these years that I've done this now, I feel like I've gotten to know so many of you, and it's like this is the other thing that makes me feel home. So, thank you guys so much for that. Absolutely adore you. All right, everybody, have a great evening. I will see you all, for another Cancerian video on Saturday, but I'll see you guys tomorrow in general. Lots of love. Bye, guys.